Yes, ma'am. Um, Sorry for the delay. Actually, there was an error in Zoom account. That's why I couldn't start the meeting on time. And I think there are only 66 participants. We will let others join during the class and we will start immediately. Okay. So, what we have learned in the previous class on Monday, it was about what? The previous class was about, yeah, attitude, right? So, what is meant by the term attitude? And suggest me the most prominent attitude we have covered. There are many work attitudes we've seen, and one attitude is recognized as the most prominent one, and we have discussed about those attitude in much more detail. And again, the discussion to be continued on that attitude in today's class as well. It is the job satisfaction, right? Don't you all remember? What is the most prominent attitude? And we have discussed it in very much detail. The way of measuring the job satisfaction. There are two different ways. Do you all remember that? One is a single global rating method, and the second one is what? Okay, let's continue today. Maybe without the notes, you may feel difficulty to join or to refresh your knowledge that we have learned. I have already uploaded, yeah, summation of job facets. Thank you, MS52, for your response and the answer. Okay, so there are two different methods of measuring these the prominent job attitude, that is the job satisfaction. The single global rating, where only one question is asked from the participants, whether you, while considering all the facts of this job and the organization, whether you are satisfied with the job or not. And where the other method, which considers many different elements of a job and the organization, and ask different questions. The employees have to rate for each and every element. They have to rate against each and every element of the job and the organization. And uh, the person who is collecting the data, or the researcher, they have to calculate the what is that, the summation or the overall rate of overall value given for the job satisfaction. Okay. Some students can't join this meeting. Yeah, I have enabled the waiting room today, and I'm admitting the people who are in the waiting room. Earlier, previous classes, I have not enabled that. The reason is because when I'm calling some numbers, you stay silent and don't even respond to my question, even if it is a yes or no question. So if I'm calling you a number and if you are not here, you will be removed from the classroom and you will not get a chance to join again. And if the attendance is taken thereafter, you will lose the attendance for the class as well. That's the reason why I'm enabled the waiting room today. Okay, so now let's move to the job attitude and continue the remaining parts. Before that, I just want to make sure, have you all checked your LMS? The learning material for chapter 2 has been uploaded. And again, I just want to give you a brief explanation about your group assignment. And the guideline for the group assignment have also been uploaded in the LMS. You can check. I will give you the instructions of the further instructions on this assignment in the classroom once everyone has joined to the class, because still the number is low. It is 108 now. Okay, so let them join and we will continue from where we have left in the previous class. Is it accessible? The notes and the guidelines are visible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is where we left yesterday. Oh, sorry, the day before yesterday. Yeah, thank you for your responses. Now we will move to the causes of job satisfaction, which is also we have covered in the previous class. And guys, I just recap the previous session, only the chapter 3. So attitude are the evaluative statements a person makes about sometimes another individual or maybe the object or event. And these statements may be favorable or unfavorable in terms. Okay. So these attitudes, there are three major components. The cognitive components, which is about something, a belief segment, and the second one is the affective component, that is a feeling segment of the attitude. And the third one is in response to the thinking and feeling, the people used to behave in a certain way, that is the behavioral component. There are three major components, and all three components are related to one another, especially mostly the cognitive and affective components are inseparable. Okay, so those cannot be like it's very difficult to separate the cognitive and affective component because those occur at the same time almost. And maybe the behavioral component could be separated because there is a time lapse between the thinking and the feeling, and again behaving in a certain way. However, all three are related to one another, and it will result in a finally maybe a positive attitude or it may be a negative attitude, whatever it is. Okay, so these are the components of attitudes. And then we have learned about many different attitudes. Okay. Major job attitudes, job satisfaction. Is it, it's a positive feeling about the job. And then the job involvement is, that is the how much individual actively participates in and identified himself or herself related to a particular job. And then the next one is the job involvement is close related to another component, that is the psychological empowerment, where the employee believe that she or he has some kind of autonomy in her job. And the next one is organizational commitment, that is how much an employee identifies himself to the organization. And if the organizational commitment is really high, then employee will feel loyal to the organization and they will be satisfied at the job as well. And then the next one is the perceived organizational support. That means how much the employees think that how much the organization value their contribution and care about their well-being. And then employee engagement, it is how much the employee is satisfied with and enthusiastically participate in the work he or she does. Okay, and the next one is the job is measure of job satisfaction, and there are two uh, tools could be used for the measurement of job satisfaction. The first one is single global rating, and the second one is summation of job facets. We have already discussed about these. And the next part of this chapter is the impact of dissatisfied employees on the workplace. If an employee is feeling dissatisfied, uh, if they are not feeling positively about the job, about the organization, if there is some kind of negativity, if they are feeling some kind of negativity at job, then how they will react to that negative feeling. That means the dissatisfaction. So there's a model has developed. So we have almost seen this as well. So this model, there are two different continents, so could be analyzed into two different dimension: the active and passive, the constructive and destructive. So if an like response is active and constructive, it could be named as voiced, where the employees can comply or talk to the people. And if it is destructive and active, the employee used to leave the organization rather than staying in the organization. If it is passive and constructive, it's like loyalty. They feel loyal to the organization and they will wait for the organization to improve their well-being. And if it is passive and destructive, it is neglect. They will not contribute to the organization at all. They will reduce their effort. They will just put time on the work, but they don't work genuinely for the organization. This is how the employee will react. So this is what we have learned in the previous class. Okay. Now we will move to the next chapter. Are you able to see the screen? Is it shared?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope you all are seeing a picture in the slides. Just look at the picture, and even there are captions for each and every picture. What does it means? I mean, what each and every picture shows you, the pictures as a whole shows you what? What do you understand by this? Yeah, thank you, Com85. Emotions, yeah. The picture shows that each and every person is experiencing different emotions. The first picture is smiling, that is she's experiencing the emotion of joy, and second one is like surprise, third one is sadness, the fourth one is what she's explaining, anger, and the next one is fear, and the other two is contempt and the disgust. Okay, so each and every people, like there are 7 people, and each and every 7 are experiencing different emotions. So this is what we are going to cover today: the emotions and the moods. Okay, so again, when you think about your life or your day-to-day activity within a single day, how much of emotions, how different types of emotions you are experiencing, and you are seeing how different people around yourself, maybe your friends, maybe your family, maybe your the working, if you are working for some other organizations, the colleagues, or your mentors, your teachers. So each and every person is experiencing different emotions, and you can also see they will be in different moods each and every day. Sometimes your friend, your close friend, may be in a good mood today, and sometimes he might have been in a bad mood. Okay, so this is what we are going to cover today, something which is really interesting, and it's just connected to the day-to-day life of each and every individual. Okay, so the emotions and mood, that is the chapter 4, that is what we are going to see. So here, at the end of the chapter 4, we are expected to achieve these learning outcomes. The first one is differentiating between the emotions and mood. We are trying to differentiate usually without the proper theoretical knowledge or the conceptual knowledge, people used to think that both the emotions and the moods are almost same. Whenever we talk to someone, sometimes we may use the term emotion. Sometimes instead of that, we may use the term moods. Okay, but conceptually there are some differences. Both are not same. We used to use the terms interchangeably instead of one to other, but there are some differences. So we will try to differentiate both the terms emotion and moods. The next one, identify the sources of emotions and mood. So why these emotions and moods are differing among different individuals. Again, within the same individual, why we are experiencing different types of emotions and why we are in a different types of moods. Okay, so there are some sources, so there are some factors which cause ourselves, or maybe the other people, to be in certain mood or to experience certain emotion. Okay, so we will try to identify those sources and try to figure it out. And then show the impact of emotional labor has on the employee. So there's a concept called emotional labor. So what is that emotional labor and how that could affect, or what kind of impact it can have on the employees or the organization. And then describe the affective events theory, a theory which is closely related to these emotions and mood, which explains how people respond to different emotions or different moods, or how the behavior of the people could be influenced by these emotions and mood. And then describe the emotional intelligence. It is also a concept used to manage these emotions effectively. So we will learn about these things. And then strategy for the emotional regulations, which is also a way of regulating our emotion to uh, avoid the negative impacts and to have the positive, to like utilize the positive impact. And then identify the strategies for emotion regulation. uh, Finally, apply the concept about the emotion and move to specific OB issues. Again, how these OB and these emotions and moods are related. OB means how the behavior in organizations are affected by, or how they are related to each other. That is what we are going to cover. Okay. So these are the learning outcomes expected to achieve, and you should able to achieve these things at the end of the class, and you should self-evaluate yourself whether I'm able to achieve these learning outcomes or not. Because based on this learning outcome only, you will be tested in your examination, in your assignments, in everything. So it will be related to this one. Okay. And okay. So what do you think about the emotion? What does it means? We have already seen that both emotions and moods are not same. There are some differences. Then what do you think about emotions? It is a kind of feeling, right? So emotion, it's a kind of feeling, but when we are saying it emotion, the people tend to experience it with the highest intensity. Okay, so people will experience some kind of feeling, but the intensity of those feelings would be really high when it comes to the emotion. Okay, so when we see what is emotion, there are three terms are closely intertwined. The first one, affect, emotions, and the moods. Okay, so before we move into learn what is affect, we will see emotions and mood first, and we will move to the affect concept. Okay, so the emotions are the intense feeling that is directed at someone or something. Again, there are two things you have to stress on. It is an intense feeling. If you are experiencing a mild feeling, that is not considered to be an emotion. And if there is no any induce anything forces you to, or anything induces you to feel these things intensively feel, then there will not be emotions. Okay, So there are two things. Those are intense feeling, and other one is it is directed at someone or something, towards someone only or something only. Against others, you will not have the same emotions. Okay. For example, if you are feeling like surprised by seeing a friend, or if you are feeling really happy and experiencing very much glad to see your friend, then you will not feel the same against some other people. If you see your friend only, you will be really happy. If you see someone else in your organization, you will feel the same. So it is directed at someone or something. Sometimes, if you see a plant or pot only, you will see that happiness. Again, if you sometimes the emotions could be in a negative way as well. If you see someone, if you talk to someone, you will again feel like very much anger. But if you see someone else in the organization, you will not feel that much of anger, because the anger is only related to that particular person. So it is directed at someone or something. And again, that anger or happiness will be really intense. Okay. So that is what the emotion. Mood are the less intense feeling than the emotion and often arise without a specific event acting as a stimulus. Okay. So here, if you are like in a happy mood, if you are really feeling happy, but not immediately, not by seeing your friend, not by looking at something, a pot or plant, you just feel happy. That is a less intense feeling, and you don't see anyone, you don't need anyone or anything to induce you to be in a happy situation. Okay, that is what called as the mood. So those are less intense. You don't like express the happiness in like maybe if you like if you are feeling happy by seeing your friend, you will sometimes you will express it by hugging your friends, or express it by smiling at your friends or something. You will express, but the happiness you may not express in such intense way, but you will be in a positive mood and you will feel happy throughout the day. So that is the mood. Okay, so where you experience less intense feeling, and you don't need someone or something to induce you to be experience that less intense. So this is how the mood and emotions are differing. Emotions are intense feeling, and something or someone is needed to induce that. If you don't see your friend, you won't feel happy or you won't feel sad even. You will be in a neutral mood. Or sometimes, if you are not seeing someone who makes you angry, you will be in a happy or positive mood. You don't feel angriness at all. Okay, so that is what the emotions and mood differ from one another. That's how the emotions and mood differ. And the affect is a term covering both the things. Both the emotion and moods are covered under the term of affect. So it's a generic term, covers a broad range of feeling that people experience, whether it is intense feeling, whether it is less intense feeling, it doesn't matter. It covers a broad range of feeling that people experience, including both the emotions and mood. Okay, so the relationship among these affect, emotion, mood, and the differences between all three could be like put into a graph or a diagram or conceptual framework like this. So here, affect is defined as the broad range of feeling that people experience. So it can include both the emotions and mood. And emotions, does the person or at least someone or something need or some event has to happen if you want to feel some emotions. Like if you see uh, someone is abusing a child, then you will immediately feel angry. So there has to be an event, or at least one person, or at least something should be there to cause yourself to feel that emotion. But mood cause is often general or unclear. So if you are in a positive wave, sometimes you don't know why I'm feeling happy today, why I'm in a happy mood, why I'm like in a bored mood today. Maybe the reason is unclear, or sometimes it's general feeling. You can't clearly specifically state this. Okay, this is why I'm happy today. That's how you may not able to say that. And the second one, very brief in duration, maybe seconds or minutes. So emotions, if you experience a happiness by looking at your friend, it will last for only maybe a 2 3 minutes, or maybe in seconds. Once you started to work by immediately when you see your friends at work, you will feel happy and you will maybe wish them or hug them and you will start to work. And thereafter, you will not feel the same thing as you felt earlier. So, this emotion will be lasting at least maybe for seconds or maybe minutes. But the mood, it lasts longer than the emotion, maybe a day or hours. You will be in the same mood. If you are in a happy mood, you will be in a happy mood throughout the, maybe at least for some hours. Okay. So if you are in a bad mood, sometimes you will be in the same mood throughout the day. Okay. So it lasts longer than the emotion. And then specific and numerous in nature. So there are many different kinds of emotions like anger, fear, sadness, happiness, disgust, surprise. Not only these, there are many emotions which people can experience. But moods, there are two main dimension of moods. The first one is the positive effect, second one is the negative effect. Whether sometimes it is positive, otherwise it is negative. There is no any in between or any other categories of moods. Okay. The next one is usually accompanied by distinct facial expression. As I already said, if you are experiencing some emotion, you will accompanied it by a facial expression. If you are feeling happy, experiencing the emotion of happiness, again, you will smile at someone. If you are feeling the emotion of angriness, you will show it to the other person by your face. We have already seen the pictures, how different emotions are expressed by the people with their facial expressions. But moods, by looking at someone, we cannot really identify in which mood they are in. Whether they are in a good mood, whether they are in a bad mood, we cannot identify by looking at them because those are not expressed by the facial expression. And emotions usually action oriented. That's why the people used to, you might have heard the laws you should not take any decision when you are in an emotional state. That's how people used to say because when we are feeling some anger by looking something that we don't really want to hear or that we don't wish to have or wish to see is happening, then we will immediately feel anger and we will try to express that anger, maybe slapping to other people or maybe scolding to other people by talking aggressively to other people. We will do something when we are emotionally attacked. So that is action oriented. But when we are experiencing these moods, if we are in a bad mood also, we don't even go and slap other people, go and scold other people. We don't behave aggressively, but we will think about something. Sometimes our thinking may be affected by this bad or good mood, but it is not action oriented. Okay, it is a cognitive in nature. So these are the differences among the emotions and mood, and the effect is a broad term which includes both the emotion and moods. Okay, so are you clear about this? What does the emotion means? What does the moods mean? And how both are differing from one another? And what does the effect, the term effect means? Is that clear? If it is clear, raise your hands. Still, people are keep joining. It's 11:20 almost. Yeah, 11:23, and people used to join even now also. If the class is at 10:45, I will let you join until 11 hereafter. After 15 minutes of the start of the class, I will not let anyone join thereafter. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the people who have raised your hands to respond my question. Almost 98, 97 participants, and please put down it. Okay, so we will move to the next part. Around 11:45, I will tell you about your group assignment and how you have to divide your groups. Is there a group representative there? Sorry, batch representative. Are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Batch rep. Okay, okay. Okay, so now we will move to the other one. That is about basic emotions. Like, as I already said, there are many different categories of emotions, and we can't even limit it. Okay, these are the main categories, or these are the only categories of emotions that people used to experience. There are many, but it includes the most common emotions of anger, contempt, enthusiasm, envy, fear, the frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, disgust, happiness, hate, hope, jealousy, joy, love, pride, surprise, and sadness. So these are the some different emotions the people usually used to experience. Okay. So the numerous researchers they have attempted to find out the fundamental set of emotions, but each and every research came up with different conclusion and different set of emotions. Okay, so modern philosopher the Rain Descartes identified six simple the primitive passions: the wonder, love, hatred, desire, joy, and the sadness are the main different emotions identified by these rain pattern. Okay, and it's unlikely the psychologists or the philosophers will ever completely agree on a set of emotions or even whether there is such thing. Still, many research agree on six essentially universal emotions like anger, fear, sadness, happiness, disgust, and surprise. So, even the researchers are going on about these categories of researchers in today as well, but they didn't agree to a common list. Okay, these are the set of emotion the people experience. Even the researchers are still going on. So, but most of the researchers they agree to the six essential set of emotions: the anger, fear, sadness, happiness, disgust, and the surprise. Okay, so other than these, there are many different emotions as well. Okay, so we don't need to spend much time on identifying these emotions. So again, there's earlier ones are the categories of emotions. Here, the basic moods. As I already said, not like emotions. There are only two different main categories of moods are there: the positive and the negative moods. Okay, so one way to classify the emotion is by whether they are positive or negative. Keep in mind the emotions can't be neutral. Okay, we cannot be in a neutral emotion where we should experience something. Being neutral is like non-emotion. We are not feeling any emotion. That is what the uh, state of ourselves. We cannot experience like both the anger and the happiness at the same time. We cannot be in the neutral situation. But if we are not experiencing any emotions, that is a non-emotional state, but it is not a neutral state. When we group emotions into like positive and negative category, they become mood states because we are now looking at them more generally instead of isolating one particular emotion. Okay, so instead of isolating one particular emotion, we are trying to looking into a general category. Okay, so again, the positive and negative effect or the positive or negative mood would be seen as a mood dimension consisting of positive emotions. So if we are categorizing all the positive emotions, we can say it as a group of the positive emotions as a positive effect. Okay, so it is a mood dimension where it will consisting of the positive emotions like excitement, self-assurance, cheerfulness. It may be if at a high end, and sometimes the positive emotions like boredom, sluggishness, and tiredness would be at the low end. If it is high end, mean it is like uh, experience with high intensity, and people used to it. But if it is at the low end, the people used to experience it with low intensity, and it is not usually expressed. Okay, people uh, used to express, but the intensity of the expression is also at low level. Okay. And the negative effect, it is the opposite of the positive effect, the positive mood. It is a mood dimension which consists of nervousness, stress, anxiety at the high end. Again, the negative emotions, intense negative emotions would be at the high end, like nervousness. If you are nervous, you will like very much tensed, and you will be biting your nails, and that kind of expression you will shown to others. And stress, anxiety are some of the high end emotions. And the relaxation, the tranquility, and the poise may be at the low end because they are less intense. However, the positive effect and positive negative effect are the mood dimension. They are not the categories of the emotion, they are the categories of the mood. But those mood emotion or those mood categories may include different type of emotions. Okay, so this is how we can categorize. So the effect, positive and negative effect. Under the positive effect, we can categorize these alert, excited, elated, happy, those kind of things. And the low positive effect may be sad, depressed, bored, or fatigued. And the negative effect, high negative effect may be upset, stressed, nervous, and tense. Where the low negative effect would be the content, serene, relaxed, and the calm. Okay, so this is how the effect, positive and negative effect, and the different kind of emotions could be related, linked to one another. Okay, so another thing is, as we already seen that we cannot be in a neutral state in terms of emotion. We should at least experience one emotion. We cannot experience both the emotions at the same time, and we cannot be in a neutral situation if we are not experiencing any emotion that is a non-emotional state. Perhaps positive moods are somewhat related to more common negative moods, and the one reason is that most negative experiences are also more unusual. Okay, so indeed, research finds a positive offset. Meaning that zero input. When nothing in particular is going on, most individuals experience a mildly positive mood. It is called as the positive offset. If nothing happens to you, if nothing triggers you to be in a negative mood, to make you feel negative about something, then people used to be in a positive mood. There's a zero input to be negative or positive, nothing is there. So in such cases, the people will be usually in a mild positive mode. So they cannot be, they will not be experiencing the intense positively intensity, the positivity with high intensity. They will be mildly in a positive mood, and that is called as the positivity offset. Okay, the state of being in a mild positive mood when there is a zero input to become positive or to become negative, the people usually in a mild positive mood, and that situation is called as the positivity offset. Okay, and what do you think the functions of emotions could be when you are experiencing any emotion, whether it is sad or whether it is happy, or whether it is a positive emotion or whether it is a negative emotion? It doesn't matter. When you are experiencing any kind of emotion, what do you think? Would you be able to take the decisions correctly or not? Would you think about something uh, in a correct manner? Would you evaluate something in a proper manner? Critic evaluate something? Is the decision taken by yourself when you are experiencing this high intense feeling is would be correct or no? You can unmute your mic and give your explanation. Okay. So the question is, do the emotion make us irrational or not? So as I already said, our ancestors or maybe our the well-wishers or the elders used to say that don't take any decisions when you are in an emotional state. That means the emotions make us irrational. That means we are not in a position to critically evaluate something. When we want to take a decision about someone or something, we have to evaluate that particular thing in both terms. What could be the positive? We should evaluate the decisions in both negative way. Sometimes taking a decisions may lead us to the positive state, or sometimes taking a decision may lead us to the negative state. So we should evaluate from both the positive and the negative states. And if we are in an emotional state, we would not able to evaluate, or we will not think rationally. Sometimes if we are like feeling happy by talking to someone, if something happens, or some if that particular person makes something wrong, then you will not in a position to identify that wrong thing that that particular person has done to you even. So that's how the emotions make us irrational, and the decision taken at the emotional state would not be the right one. Okay. So, one team of authors argue that displaying emotions such as the sadness to the point of crying is so toxic to a career that we should leave the room rather than allow others to witness it. Okay, so the authors or the scholars argued that feeling sadness at work is really toxic. Like the people will feel something bad about ourselves if we like always used to cry at our work. So, even you are feeling that kind of emotion, you should leave the room, you should leave others and go somewhere alone, and you have to express it, and you should not allow others to witness that you are crying. And these perspectives suggest that demonstration or even experience of emotion can make us seem weak, brittle, and irrational. So what does it mean, or what does it show? It when you are experiencing the emotion of sadness and the fear, that will show to other people that you are really weak and you are like irrational, always used to cry, you don't have the capacity to control your emotions at all. That's how the people will think about and show to other people. Okay. This is the function made by the emotion. Okay. And the research is increasingly showing that emotions are actually critical to the rational thinking, and there has been evidence of such link for a long time. So because of emotion provide important information how we understand the world around us. So that means when you need to take a decision, if you are in an emotional state, you should not take the decision. You have to postpone the decision until you calm down, and once you calm down only you can take the decisions. Okay, this is the first function, that is the emotion usually make us irrational. And the second one is, does emotional make us ethical? So if you are in an emotional state, whether you would able to perform ethically or not. So again, many researchers, the growth of a growing body of research has like analyzed these relation between the emotion and the ethical behavior or the moral attitude. So it was believed that earlier the decision making in general, the more ethical decision was based on the higher order cognitive processes. That means ethical decisions, it is based on the higher order process. But research on moral emotion increasingly question this perspective. Okay? So we can conclude that people who are behaving ethically are at least partially making decisions based on their emotion and feeling, and this emotional reaction will be often be a good thing. Okay, so whenever people are in an emotional state, sometimes if they are experiencing the positive emotion, that will sometimes make them to behave in an ethical manner. When maybe that is not required by the law or regulation, but it may require you to behave, or it may allow you to behave in an ethical manner. Okay. So these are the two main functions. So one is said that if you are experiencing the emotion, that will make you like behave in an irrational way, that you cannot take the decisions correctly. And the second one, sometimes experiencing some kind of emotions would be helpful to behave in an ethical way, even that is not required by the laws and regulations. Okay, so is that clear? Shall we move to the source of emotion?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think? What make you to become emotion? What do you think to what are the things, or what are the factors cause you to be in a positive or negative mood? What do you think? One of such factor is personality. Personality means like is it one response? Whether, yeah, a correct answer. Weather is one of the factors that makes the people maybe to in a particular mood, maybe in a good mood or maybe in a bad mood. Sometimes the people used to be in a certain mood based on the weather. So before moving into how weather could impact the people's emotion, we will like first complete the personality. And the other one, generation and gender. Yeah, obviously there are some differences in emotions and moods experienced by the people based on the different generation and different genders of the people. Social activities, yes, obviously. The next one, sometimes when you are really involving in the social activities like going for a party, maybe playing games with your friends or maybe your cousins, uh, going for a gym or something, that will make you, put you in a good mood. Yes, of course. Age is something that will affect the experience of emotions and mood. Sometimes the older people are they are really like stable than the younger people, because young people used to experience these emotions with high intensity than the old people. Old people used to be in a stable mood always. Okay, so these are some factors which will make the people to experience these emotions and mood. So one such factor is the personality. So personality is like that is a built-in one. When you like born and when you grown up in your society, you would have developed your personality. And as a person, some people are really aggressive, and some people are really calm. They are really soft, and the people used to always talk to that people, treat others with like respect. Those kind of things are there. Though some people's personality is like that. Some people are really rude, anger, always treat the people with disrespect manner. So always be in a bad mood, like they always in a negative mood and experience the negative emotions. For little things also, they get emotional. So that kind of personality differences are there. So based on the differences in personality, people used to experience different emotions and different moods. Okay. So affect intensity is the individual difference in the strength with which the individual experience their emotions. So based on the personality differences, the people, even the same emotion is experienced with different strengths, different intensity. The person A may experience the same emotion, the same happiness with high intensity, and the person B may experience the same emotion with low intensity. Okay, so this intensity or the strength of experience of emotions and moods may differ because of the individual differences. That is called as the affect intensity. So affective intense people experience both positive and negative emotion, and more deeply when they are sad they are really sad, when they are happy they are really happy. Okay, so if the people are really effectively intense, uh, they will experience whatever the emotion they feel, they will experience it with the intensity. If they are feeling sad, they will be really sad, obviously they will be sad and they will be crying all the time. And if you see their faces, that sadness is really visible and explicitly we can see that. But some people, even they are sad, they don't experience or they don't express it to the other people, and we cannot really even identify whether the people are really sad or not. That kind of people are effectively less intense people. Okay, so there are some individual differences that make how much intensively the people experience the same emotion or not. Okay, so that is called as the affect intensity. Yeah, one another factor which make which will cause the people to experience different emotion is the stress. Okay, so the next factor we will move into. Before I move into the next factor, I just want to make sure, have you all had the notes, lecture notes from your previous batch? Have you all got the notes? How many of you had got the notes from your seniors? Everyone? Raise whoever got the notes from your seniors, please raise your hands. It's not a bad thing. I'm just asking for your knowledge. Just 2 hands have been raised from 85 and yes. Almost many of you have already received the notes from your seniors. It's okay. It's okay to receive the notes, but for my subject, I advise you to use whatever the notes I upload in the LMS. You might see maybe the template is same, almost the notes are same, but I have made little differences or changes, modification in the notes, and added something, deleted something in the previous batches, and simplified the notes even better for yourself, because when all the chapters have been completed, you might feel difficult to study everything. So somewhat I have simplified the notes for yourself and made some modifications. So have it for your reference. It's not a bad thing, wrong thing. But when it comes to the examination purpose, please go through my notes. That whatever the notes uploaded by me in the LMS for your batch. Okay, is that clear? Because there are some differences in your one and the previous one. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we will move to the next factor, which will cause the people to experience different mood. That is the sources of emotion. day of the week and the time of the day. What do you think? How the day and time would affect the people's different emotions? Would you be in the same mood or same emotion all the throughout the day, or maybe throughout the week? Will you be in the same emotion, or will you be experiencing the same emotion or mood, or else is there any differences? Different emotions. Okay. So how it would differ? Okay, so we will see. So we people will be in different moods and different emotions in different days of week, and even within a day, during the different time periods, the people will be in different moods. Okay, so the people tend to be in their worst mood, maybe highest negative effect and lowest positive effect early in the week, because the people are enjoying the weekend vacation, the Saturday and Sunday, and they are coming back to work on Monday. So in Mondays, so they will be like sacrificing their fun and all. So they will be usually in bad mood, okay, and their best mood in later in the week, okay. So once they like back into work, they will be habituated it over maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They will be like train themselves to work, and they will be in a positive mood later in the week, and later in the week. Why they are expecting again for the weekend, okay. And regardless of what time we go to bed that night to get up in the morning, the level of positive effect tend to peak at around half way point between the waking and sleeping. So at whatever the time, sometimes you may go to bed at 10 o'clock. Sometimes people used to go to bed at 12 and wake up at maybe the people go to bed at 10, maybe wake up at 6 o'clock early morning. And people used to go to bed at 12, maybe waking up at 10 o'clock, maybe. Okay. So, whatever the time you go to bed, though, whatever the time you wake up, it doesn't matter. But in between that time, in between around half of the time, like if you are waking up 10 o'clock and going back to bed at 12 o'clock, how many hours are there in between? Waking up 10 and going bed at 12 a.m., not p.m. How many hours are there in between? Waking up 10 o'clock a.m. and going to bed again the next day 12 a.m. How many hours are there in between? Have you got my question? 14 hours. Okay, thank you. So within these 14 hours, people would be at high, they would be in a positive mood uh, at the seventh hour. Okay, seventh hour in the sense like waking up 10 o'clock and around 5 p.m., the people will be in highly positive mood. Okay, and the negative effect, however, shows little fluctuation throughout the day. So negative effect, maybe that effect may be fluctuating throughout the day, but little fluctuations are there. So Monday morning is probably not the best time to ask someone for a favor or convey the bad news, and our workplace interaction will probably be more positive from mid-morning onwards and also the later in the evening. Okay. Also, the people would be in a positive mode during the morning time, mid-morning time, and in negative mode in the noon time. Okay. So if you want to achieve some favor from someone else, you should not talk to them during the Mondays and not in the noon time. So you have to you may like talk to them during the later in the week and morning time also, maybe 10, 11. That time is good time for the people. Okay. So this is how the time of the day and the day of the week may affect the people. So here you can see the people would be in a positive effect, maybe Sundays at low and Monday low, and later in the week it becomes at a high level. And negative mode is again it is decreasing throughout the week from high on Sunday to later in the week it is decreasing. Okay, and the time of the day is like during 9 a.m. people are in an average mood, and 3 6 p.m. also they are in average mood in terms of negative effect. But when it comes to the positive effect, the people are in good mood during the 9 a.m. The low mood in the 9 a.m. and 3 6 9 until 9 p.m. people would be in the highest mood. Okay. So this is how the emotions could vary according to the time of the day and the week. Okay. So again, the another factor which is already mentioned by yourself, weather is other factor which is affecting the mood and emotion of the other people. We will complete this section and we will like I'll introduce the assignment to yourself once the sources of emotions have been completed. So the first one is the next factor which is affecting is the weather. So when we are experiencing a sunny weather, we would be in a irritable state, like we are not in a positive mood there because of the sweat and all, because of the sunny weather. We may be experiencing the negative mood, and if the weather is really cool and all, the people would be in a positive mood. Many people believe their mood is tied to weather. However, fairly large detailed body of evidence conduct the multiple researches suggest weather has little effect on mood. It has some effect, but that effect is really little. Okay. So illusory correlation explain why people tend to think nice weather improves their mood. So even we are saying that during the sunny mood we are in a bad mood, and during the cold weather we are in a good mood. That is an effect of, or that is in respect of this illusory correlation. That is not the actual one. The people are experiencing that because of the illusory correlation. So it occurs when people associate two events that in reality have no connection. Actually, in reality, there are no any connection between the weather and emotion. But why people think that the weather has some impact on these emotion? It's because of the illusory correlation. So it is the tendency of the people to associate two events when in reality there is no any connection. That is what the illusory correlation. And because of the illusory correlation, people think that weather has some effect, and that the cognitive thinking of the people make the weather to have an impact on the emotion. And other than that, stress, as you said, if the people are experiencing the stress, they will be in negative mood all the time. And as we already discussed, if we are engaging in any social activities like any interaction with the people, it will help you to keep yourself in a positive mode. And again, sleep is one of other factors. If you don't have adequate sleep, if you are not sleeping properly in the early night, then you will be experiencing maybe the stress and the negative mood. And if you are having the adequate amount of sleep, then you will be in a positive effect throughout the day. Okay. And then exercise, again, the research suggests that the people who are involving in some kind of physical exercises mostly help you to put in a positive mood. And the age also, it is negatively related to the emotions, that older people, they are really calm and experience less intense emotions, and they have fewer negative emotions than the younger people. And the sex, it is said that researchers said that women are experiencing more and more emotion than the men. Uh, that is how the research evidence shows that the emotional states of women are really intense than the men. Okay, so this is all about the sources of emotion. Is that clear? Anything to ask? MS61, do you want to ask anything? Okay. Okay. So just have a 5 minutes break and back at 12:05. So I'll be sharing the guidelines for your group assignment there. Okay. Okay. Shall we start? Before that, I'll be sharing the attendance link. Hereafter, I will not anyone to join the class until the attendance is. Okay. You can submit your attendance. It's 12:05 now. Yeah, 12:06. Then until 12:16, it will accept the responses. I will here. I will back to the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will explain group assignment right now. Okay. I have already told you in like a summary what you have to do for your group assignment when explaining the course outline in the very first class. I don't know whether you will have remember those things or not. And I have made a small modification to the uploaded document in LMS and re-uploaded it now. Please refer to the new document in the LMS. Okay. So the group assignment is about an organizational review. Okay. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the organizational review. So what you have to do for this group assignment is you have to select an organization wherever it is within Sri Lanka, maybe in MS56. MS56. Could you please mute your mic? Okay. So you have to select an organization, maybe from your area or wherever it is, okay, one of your members' area. And what you have to do is you have to visit that organization uh, or else contact the people who works for that particular organization and have a discussion with them and identify an organizational behavioral issue. Okay, so that behavioral issue may be at the individual level, or maybe at the organizational level, or maybe at the group level, whatever it is, some issue which is related to the behavior of the employees within the organization, an organizational behavioral issue. Okay, so one of the example for say for example an organization is having or experiencing the satisfaction of the employees is really low, or maybe the turnover rate of the employees is really high. So what's the reason? So what you have to do is you have to select an organization, and through the discussion or the visit or whatever the sources of data collection, you have to identify an organizational behavioral issue. It could be individual, organizational, or group level, no matter it is. And with the identification of the issue, you have to analyze the issue using the organizational behavioral concept we used here. Okay, so if it is an issue, you have to what are the concepts are related to that particular issue, what are the theories are related to the particular issue, how what uh, models we can apply to that particular issue, or maybe if it is a turnover issue, if it is a satisfaction issue, what other organizational behavioral models are connected, or sometimes diversity. There is no any diversity in the lack of diversity may be an issue. Every employees or organization divide the groups without no any diverse people. all the same kind of people are put into one group. In such cases, the concept of diversity is sometimes the discrimination may be there in the organization. The people may complain about the discrimination. The genuine allocation of resources are not there. Maybe the promotion is given to some other people. So in such cases, you have to identify, okay, this is a case of, the people might say like the promotion is given to some other people where I'm qualified for that particular promotion. So in such cases, you may have identified, okay, this is an issue related to the discrimination, OB concept. So we have to identify or relate the issue with the OB concepts, and you have to apply the concepts or models which we learned up to now, or maybe whatever the things we are going to learn hereafter, and you have to connect it with, okay, and then you have to identify the causes of those problems. Okay, so how you have identified the problem and what are the causes of that problem? What are the factors which helps or which make that problem to arise in that particular organization, which make the people behavioral issues to arise in that particular organization? And then finally, you have to provide some recommendation. You have to develop some strategies how the organization can overcome the particular issue identified by yourself. Okay, what are the strategies or recommendation you could offer to that particular organization? And finally, you have to provide a conclusion. Okay, so this is what you are expected to do in this assignment. So at the end of the assignment, you are required to submit a report, and or the models or the concepts, you have to connect the issue with the concepts of OB in section 3. And in section 4, you have to give some recommendation, or you have to develop the strategies and provide a conclusion on the report. This is how you have to organize your report. It should be sectioned into 4. Okay. One important thing is I will divide you, I will give you the group details. Plan to divide you where 10 people should be grouped into one. Okay, so hopefully more than 30 groups would be there. So you should not select the same organizations. Okay, so one group should select one organization, and any of the other group should not select the same organization. Okay, maybe if you are, for example, if you are selecting a bank, uh, same bank, maybe say for example commercial bank of a particular branch could be selected by one group, but the same particular branch should not be selected by other group. But other branch of the commercial bank, maybe the say commercial bank branch of Matra district may be selected by some other group. It doesn't matter, but try to avoid that kind of things as well. Try to select unique organization. Don't select the same bank and different branches for every group. So you should keep some uniqueness. You should keep some differences in your selection of organization. Then the analysis would be much easier for them yourself, because you have to maintain some uniqueness. Okay, so one organization should be selected by only one group. And again, the evidence of the data collection, how you have identified the issue, uh, what are the sources help you to identify the issue, whether you have had a discussion with the organization, whether you had the interview, how did you identify the issue? That evidence have to be provided. Okay, if you are interviewing someone, maybe the photographs, the questions asked during the interview, That kind of things could be summarized, could be submitted as the evidences, and those are not included within the word limit. It can be provided as separate section under appendix part. Okay, not within the four sections of the report. You can submit it as the appendix. And again, 3,000 words. You have to stick to the word limit. You can deviate 500 less or 500 more, not more than that. And the presentation would be 15 minutes per group. Okay, a group is allowed to present only 15 minutes. Whether you complete the presentation or not, I will stop immediately once the 15 minutes is passed. Okay, I will not give you no one additional minutes of time for the presentation, and you should not do the presentation less than 10 minutes. Minimum 10 minutes presentation should be done by a group, and within 15 minutes, all the members have to present. And that's how you have to organize your presentation. You have practiced it. You have already rehearsed your presentation before the actual one during the class time. Okay. And the reports prepared by the team should be submitted to the LMS on or before the deadline. And as I already said, this is how the presentation could be done. I will not give you any additional time for the presentation. And if you are presenting less than 10 minutes, you will be deducted some marks from the final marks for the presentation. Okay. And the deadline for the report submission is 23rd June. You have given almost 1.5 months for the assignment purpose, and until 23rd June 11:59 you can submit the report. I will create the submission link in the LMS. One member from each group can submit the report. Okay, and please indicate your group member detail in the report. Only the members who have actually contributed to the group assignment have to be included. Please don't allow the free riders in your group. If anyone is not actually contributing, actually taking part in the group assignment, please don't include themselves. Okay, so please include the active participation, the members who actively participate in the assignment in the report. Okay, and then presentation is planned to start from 26th June 2023. Okay, and there's a question from yourself that yes, you have to focus only on one issue. Please don't select many issues, and you will be struggle to analyze the issue. Just take a small issue, small behavioral issue. It should be a behavioral issue. Don't take any other kind of issues, and analyze it deeply. Okay, is that clear? Is the assignment clear? Anything to ask about this assignment? I will clear about the assignment. If you are clear, raise your hands. Okay. So regarding the group detail, yeah, batch rep, are you here? That's what I'm going to say about the group detail. Batch rep, are you here? Completely composed of female. The gender diversity should be ensured in the group. Who's there to take the responsibility of dividing the group? You yourself divide the groups and give me the details. I will check again. And if it is okay, I will upload it in the LMS so that everyone can view. Is there anyone taking the responsibility to divide? Any volunteers? Oh my God. At least to divide the groups, don't you have anyone? Batch rep, are you here or not? As long as you are in a virtual environment, as long as your lectures are in a virtual manner, the presentation would be held in a virtual manner. If you are moved to the physical environment, or I mean physical lectures, then the presentation will be conducted in the physical lectures. The COM 33, I don't understand the meaning of your message. Ourself mean? What do you mean by ourself? Are you okay to divide the group? Are you taking the responsibility? Or else I will contact your batch representative and let him divide the group. If you have any preferences, contact him and okay, so I will tell him to divide into group, and ma'am can divide the group as wish. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's why I ask you to divide. If you have any preferences, let your representative know about that. You divide the group among yourself as I instructed. Whose mic is unmuted? Okay. So the group should be consisting of 10 members in a group. Okay, 10 members should be there in a group, and should consist of 5 from management, 5 from commerce. That's how you divide yourself as groups, and let your rep know about the groups, and I will tell him to prepare the details of the group, list of group detail, and let me know, and I will upload it in the LMS. Okay, so this is all about the group assignment. Shall we continue? Shall we continue?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So we have left in the sources of emotions, and the next concept is the emotional labor. Okay. So emotional labor is a concept like it is a labor category where the employee's expression of organizational desired emotion during the interpersonal transitions are required. Okay, so everyone at work experiences different kind of emotions, and they are expressing different emotion states or different feelings at work. But not every job or every work requires these emotional expressions. But in some work, in some organizations, employees are really required to express different emotions. Different, they have to express different feelings towards the clients or towards the customers. Okay, so the jobs that require this kind of emotional expression from the employees is called as the emotional labor. So the concept of emotional labor emerged from the studies of the service job, because when it comes to the manufacturing organization, they don't frequently interact with the customers. They don't interact with the clients at all. Sometimes they produce the material, they produce the products, and they transfer or they deliver it to the retailers, and they are the person selling their products to the customer. So there is no any interaction with the end customers or end users of that particular product. That's how the manufacturing organization will operate. But when it comes to the service organization, you know that there is a frequent interaction with the customers or the clients of the service organization. For example, if you are running a cosmetic industry or maybe a cosmetic organization, a salon, where the people will come and they will tell that, okay, this kind of style I require. So can you please do a makeover like this? So that's how the customers will require you to, and you have to interact with the customers, and you are directly providing service to the customer. So in such cases, the employees are required to express certain feelings towards the customer. Okay, so the true issue comes here is when you are happy, experiencing a happy feeling, experiencing a happy emotion is okay, is nothing. There is no any issue. But when you are in a sad emotional state, if your job require you to express a happy feeling, then the issue arises. Okay. For example, if you are working as a customer service assistant, maybe a receptionist, then you have to always smile at your customers when the customers come to the organization, when customers comes to the hotel or something. You have to smile at your customers and welcome them with a happy smile, and treat them with a smiling face. When you are happy, smiling at them, welcoming with them with a happy face is not an issue for yourself at all. But when you are experiencing a sad mood, when you are in a bad emotion, then smiling at the customers and dealing with them happily is an issue for yourself. This is where the issue of emotional dissonance arises. That means the inconsistency between the emotion the people feel and the emotion they project or they express. When you are experiencing sadness, but you have to express the happiness, then there is the emotional dissonance. That your actual emotion is the sadness, but what you are expressing is happiness. So there is an inconsistency or incompatibility between the emotion you feel and the emotion you express. That is called as the emotional dissonance. Okay. So it can help you on the job, especially if you separate the emotions like felt and displayed emotion. Okay, so its emotional dissonance could be understood better if you can separate the felt emotion and the displayed emotion. Felt emotion means the individual's actual emotions. If you are feeling sad, the felt emotion of yourself is the sad. If you are feeling happy, the felt emotion of yourself is happy. So that is what what are the emotions you are actually experiencing, what you are actually feeling. In contrast, the displayed emotions are those that the organization require the workers to show and considers the appropriate is given job. Okay. So sometimes you may experience the sadness, but you are required to express the happiness. You have to smile at the customers. You have to welcome them with a happy face. Here, the felt emotion is different and the displayed emotion is different. So the actual felt emotion is the sadness, while the displayed emotion is the happiness. So there are some differences. So those organizations require you to be express the happiness and you have to smile at. So that is the displayed emotion. So displaying the fake emotion require us to suppress the real emotion. That means when you are in a sad mood, when you are required to express the happy face or happiness towards the customers, what that require you to do is you have to suppress your actual emotion, that your felt emotion, and display something else to the customers. So this practice, that suppressing the actual emotion and displaying an emotion which is required by the organization, which is not actually experienced by yourself, is called as the surface acting. So, surface acting is hiding the inner feeling and foregoing the emotional expression in response to the display rules. That means you are hiding what you are experiencing actually, you are hiding your inner state, your actual inner state, and displaying something else which the organization require you to display towards the customer. So a worker who smiles at a customer even when he doesn't feel like it is a surface acting. That means hiding the own actual emotions and forgoing the emotional expressions which is required by the organization. Uh, Another concept is there, which is in contrast of these surface acting, that is the deep acting. Deep acting is rather than hiding your own emotion and expressing something else required by the organization, you try to modify your true inner emotion or inner feeling based on the display rule. Even you are feeling sad, even you are in a bad mood, when your organization require you to uh, welcome your customers with a happy face, if you are required to express a happiness, then rather than just hiding your sadness and be expressing the happiness, you try to become more happy and express the own feeling. That is called as the deep acting. A healthcare provider, for example, maybe a healthcare provider, it trying genuinely feel more empathy for the customers or the patients is a deep acting. Even the healthcare provider, when you think about the healthcare provider, they might have seen many patients each and every day, and they don't even care about their, maybe they don't feel empathy for the diseases the patients have about. But what the healthcare emotions or healthcare provider is trying to do through the deep acting. But if the provider is not expressing the empathy towards the patients, what the patients will feel, oh, I'm like feeling this much of pain and all, but this doctor is not taking care about this. He doesn't feel about this empathetic about my situation. That's how the patients will feel like. So what the doctor is trying to do is, rather than like hiding his own emotions and acting like he's feeling empathetic about the patients, he's actually trying to feel empathetic about the situations of the patients. So surface acting deals with displayed emotion and deep acting deals with the felt emotion. So surface acting means hiding own emotions and displaying something else, that is dealing with the displayed emotions, trying to display something. Deep acting is rather than hiding own emotion, trying to change the own emotions according to the required rules. That is dealing with the felt emotions. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear or not? So the next is a theory which is talking about these emotions and mood at work. There is the affective event theory. What happens to people? They keep joining till now. Okay, so event theory proposed that employees react emotionally to the things that happen to them at work, and this reaction influence their job performance and the satisfaction. Okay, so effective in theory means the employees they react emotionally to the work. Something if something happens to them at work, they will like express their emotion and they will try to react in an emotional way, and this reaction influence their job performance. Ultimately what will happen is their job performance and the job satisfaction will be influenced by this emotional reaction. So say you just found out your own is company is downsizing. For example, you are working for an organization, and because of for example, when it comes to the situation of Sri Lanka, maybe even the global situation, many companies are going for downsizing and they are laying off many of their employees as a reason of increasing cost, escalating cost. In order to reduce the cost as a strategy of cost cutting, the organizations are going for layoffs. English committee meeting. Yeah. Can we find the children? Okay, those whoever have the English committee meeting, in the sense, is everyone need to go for the meeting? Or some of you?
Yes, ma'am.
The whole batch is need to go for the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is the meeting started? You don't know, no? Okay, let me complete this. Okay, then we will wind up the class and continue this in the next class. Can we find the children from our? No, you can select your group members based on the convenience, but the condition have to be fulfilled. At least 5 management and 5 commerce have to be combined. If you have adequate number of students from your area, of course you can select. It doesn't matter, but this condition have to be fulfilled. And we will wind up the class. If you really want to go for the English committee meeting, and we will continue in the next class. Okay. Please inform me earlier if you have these kind of meetings, because the lectures is scheduled to be 10:45 to 12:45, not 10:30 to 12:30. Yeah, I'm expecting to have maximum 10 members for a group, because if it is more than 10, it will be difficult. The contribution of individual members will be really less, because they will let others to do the work, and they will be like free riders of the group assignment. So that maximum 10, and if any groups are not able to get 10 members, I will make changes. First, you among yourself divide the group and let me know before Friday night. Let me know about the group details. I will analyze the details and upload you the final group details on Monday. Okay. Shall we continue? Do you want me to wind up the class and allow you to go for the meeting? Okay, okay, then we will wind up the class and you join the meeting. We'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.